Breaking Down the Law is sponsored by Battleborn Injury Lawyers.
Nevada legislators now considering a bill that would legalize a medication designed to end a patient's life. Assembly Bill 346 would grant adult euthanasia for patients over the age of 18 with a terminal condition. Governor Joe Lombardo vetoed a similar bill that passed along party lines in 2023. The new bill is bipartisan, co-sponsored by a Republican and a Democratic Assembly member. Here to discuss the details of the proposed legislation and the legal implications of medication used for euthanasia, we have attorney Matthew Hoffmann with Battleborn Injury Lawyers with us. Thank you so much, as always, for coming in to break down the law. So what does this one entail, and what could be the potential impact?
Bright and cheery topic on a rainy day,
right?
Now, so the bill, first of all, it's literally identical to what was passed 2 years ago. The difference is, as you pointed out, this one's bipartisan. And so I think for that reason, there might be something there where maybe the governor has signaled he's willing to sign it if it's bipartisan. The bill itself, it's incredibly detailed, incredibly detailed. The hoops one must jump through in order to get the euthanasia pill are enormous. So you have, number one, you have to be diagnosed with a terminal condition, which is essentially you will not live longer than 6 months. And that has to be attested to by two separate physicians. And those two separate physicians both need to deem you to be mentally competent. If they don't think you're mentally competent, they need to refer you to a mental health specialist to clear you. So that's number one. Number two, the patient has to verbally request it once, and then after 15 days of waiting, verbally request it again. That then triggers a form. And then the form is prescribed in the statute that they have to fill out, and they request it again in writing. And all of this has to be done by the patient, not a power of attorney, not a family member. The patient themselves has to do this. Assuming you get through all those hoops, then the doctors have to provide the patient with information about alternatives, palliative treatment, hospice, things like that. And after all of that, if the patient still says, no, I want this, then they go to a pharmacy that dispenses it. They have to dispense it directly to the doctor, directly to the patient, or they can give it to a representative designated by the patient. And then the big thing is it has to be an oral medication only. This cannot be intravenous. You can't put this into a IV bag, and it has to be taken by the patient themselves. So a lot
of... No one can assist them, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
A lot of hoops to hop through in order to even get the pill.
Yeah, and it seems like that would take a lot of time.
Yeah, and I think you'll see people maybe specialize in this. I don't know. It's going to take a while before this actually goes anywhere if it passes. Nevada would join, I think it's 10 states in the District of Columbia have similar laws, Oregon having it the longest, over 30 years.
Wow, and what do you think the implications will be if this does become law here?
Yeah, so legally speaking, it insulates liability for the doctors involved from any criminal or civil liability. They can't be charged. I think probably the most important thing is that the coroner is directed that if somebody does this on the death certificate, it has to list the cause of death as whatever the terminal illness was. It cannot say suicide. That's huge because number one, there's the stigma of it. But number two, you have life insurance, some life insurance policy. I mean, in Nevada, you can have a suicide exclusion on a life insurance policy, but it's void after 1 year. Well, what if somebody took it out earlier? It's within the year. Yeah. This would save them from having to worry about that. And then, the question is does it become, I don't want to say big business, but does it create an industry within the state, providing dignity for people? It's a very Nevadan thing if you think about it. Very libertarian state, right? We have so many freedoms. What bigger freedom is there than the right to choose how you want to die? So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. And then on the medication side, we've seen with executions, the pharmaceutical companies won't, give those medications if they know they're being used for executions. Will we have any snags in that if they know it's being used for euthanasia? I know they've had problems in Oregon with that, where they're having trouble coming up with the right concoction, so to speak, to make this all happen. So it's obviously an important bill. I think it's popular, honestly. I think that's why it's being brought again. And we'll see if Governor Lombardo signs it, assuming it passes. We'll see if there's more bipartisan support. But it's dealing with something that's horrible. I think 80%, I told you before the show, 80% of the people in Oregon that have used this, it's cancer victims.
Yeah.
You know, the people, and if anybody, you know, everybody's been touched by cancer, and people that die by cancer, if you've witnessed it, you know, it's not good.
No, it's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
It's awful. You know,
Yeah.
my business partner, you know, passed away from cancer, and it's just, it's an awful thing to witness, and I think that giving people dignity to make that choice, even if there is hoops to go through, I think that stands for something. It's probably a good thing to have on the Nevada books, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, thanks so much. And if you
got
have
it.
any legal questions you want Matt to answer, you can always email us at breakingdownthelaw@news3lv.com, and we'll get those questions to him.